Alright, back in business. Been away for a couple of days, but I have been sorting stuff. I had to source some fabric bits and pieces, but I've done that. So now I'm back to deal with more armour. More So, rinse repeat, basically. Now, I need to move on to the chest pieces. And to do so, I need to cut some stuff out of foam. But, because the way that these are angled, I look at my draft piece, the way that these bits are angled on the sides, I'm going to have to cut them at an angle and then probably just contact glue it together because it's going to be easier to plaster over if it's one solid thing. Because the angles are going to matter a lot on this one. So I need to decide whether I want to have this bit flat and these bits at an angle, which is probably going to be easier, or if I attempt to do this at an angle and have those be flat. So this one needs to be flat. That needs to be angled. Yeah, this one needs to be angled for in, I think. It's gonna be one that's gonna hurt my brain a little bit. And I've also extended how far back this strap goes, just for safety's sake, because I had a quick faff about, tried on the 2 armour pieces that I've got that are finished, and whacked this on just to see, and there was kind of a gap around here. So this is much longer than it needs to be now, but I'd rather that were the case, and then I cut stuff back later. So that's fine by me. So I have to now figure out how I want to do this. Because I have a bevel for the sake of cutting things at angles, because I can't trust me to do that under no circumstances. So I think looking at this, I'm going to want to cut this piece at an in and under sort of angle, and then I can keep all of these straight, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to be easier than trying to mess about with much else. And then I need to figure these out, but I think I can do that separately. So I think this whole piece I might have to do at an in and under, but then that's a problem because of straps. They need to be straight. I don't want to change it part way through because that's going to be hard to replicate. So if I were to keep all of these straight, then I'd have to cut these at angles. It's going to make things really awkward. It's much better to do this at an angle. Have these be straight. It's going to be a lot easier. Okay, let's assume I just do it that way. Because I need to have the straps thickened up anyway. So it's really not the end of the world. I think it'll be alright. Yeah. I think it'll be alright. So I think I'm going to settle on having the main piece cut at an angle. Right, I will do that with foam that I put somewhere. Yeah. Okay. How do I want to play this? How best to conserve material? Not like that. Probably something akin to that, actually. That's not bad. I am going to draw around these rather than just trying to hold it and cut it. Because, again, don't really trust me with that. Honest. So, Do I do it in biro or do I do it in pencil? I think I've done pencil before, but I really got to make sure I can see these lines. It's going to matter. Bring that down slightly because of that, but that's better. Okay. Cool. Well, this is going to be my life for a little bit, so bear with me. Hope that... Oh yeah, Byra's working, that's fine. Looks like I've done it in Sharpie in the past. Just fine. Doesn't matter a whole bunch. But I think I am gonna try and do this edge as well while I'm down here, because I have a tendency to accidentally move these things as I'm working on them. So if I at least have a rough idea where this is supposed to end up, that would be thick and cool. And I'm gonna draw both of these out first and indicate which is left, which is right, because, again, I know me, I know I'll get confused. And if I need to cut things at certain angles, I've got to make sure I'm doing the right angle on the right one. So I will be marking that. That's the only trouble with this, is that it'd be nice if I could just use the same piece and flip it to do the other side. But because I have to do things at an angle, I'm going to have to do two and hope that they are relatively symmetrical. So that's one. And that'll be the left. Yes. That'll be the right. Then why have I got it? How have I managed to confuse it? So, because that is definitely the left. Why am I like this? Okay. Yeah, then that's the right. So this is definitely the right. Oh, that is impressive. Yeah, good enough. Right, so that's one. Then I will do the other one. This. Try and think again about how I can play this so I'm not wasting a bunch. I kinda, sorta can't really. Because whatever way I spin it, there's going to be a gap somewhere. So it's probably going to be easier to do it like this. I do want to leave a bit of a gap between them, because if things are at angles, that's going to end up being a factor. Not that it matters a whole bunch down here, though. Mostly there. That seems pretty reasonable. Right. Roll with that. Yeah, I know. Fan is going to be a problem, but I need a fan. So I wasn't originally planning on doing this morning. I was up and ready to go to the gym again. But then I started thinking about everything I need to do and panicking, so now I'm here instead. To the surprise of basically no one. I've got a lot I want to get knocked over today. I can get all of the foam pieces cut out this morning. I'll get my nan to help me do the plaster on the chest pieces later on in the actual daylight. So I might even end up setting things up outside. But she can't wear a dust mask because her lungs would not even. So working outside might be better for her. Because I'm definitely going to need help. Just so much quicker. And if I can get plaster done for everything, will I be able to get around to fiberglassing it today? I don't know. I want to, but I don't think it'd be a good idea because the plaster's going to need to dry out. So probably not, to be honest. Alright. Cool. So that's the lefts and the rights drawn out. Now I need to think about the angles. So they need to go in. So is it going to be easier? Is it going to be easier if I treat it the other way round? So if I cut this one going out but make it the right, and then cut this one but make it the left, that might be the way to do this. So if that's going out, then that makes that the top, but then that makes it bigger rather than smaller, which is what it needs to be. And how am I going to do that? Let me think, because this is the thing that I've got, which is great. It needs to be... Come on, brain, you can do this. I have this thing, I find it really hard to visualize stuff in 3D. It's always been a thing. But it's really awkward for stuff like this. I've got to think now. That's going to be the widest surface. Does that... No, it doesn't matter, right? No, it does matter. Right, okay, I have a 3D thing here. Let's use this. Because what I need is to have this be the widest face and for it to cut in underneath. But to do that, I'd have to have another line drawn around here, offset fairly precisely, right? And have to trace around that line at an angle. But then that shouldn't matter if I angle the blade and just do it based on where... Treat it like a sewing machine, right? So if I offset it slightly and have this at an angle, let me rotate it first, because I'm going to want it to be out to there somewhere, right? Twisting it the wrong way, that's not going to help. If that's like that, it's going to need to be even more offset than that. Do it one more. I said it was there. And see where the blade goes to. Okay, right. I said it was around there. And then just pray, right? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, this is gonna suck. This is going to be incredibly difficult. Okay, this is gonna be slightly experimental, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Because I'm gonna try really hard to make this work. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, it is cutting the thing at an angle, so that's a plus. That gone through mostly, but not quite all the way. Then I can fix it if it's not quite. Yeah, but there's not quite, and there's not even a little bit. So they are distinctly different. Let's try that instead. This is probably going to end up being a bit of a mess, so bear with me. It's going to be a lot of my head in the way, I expect. So I apologise in advance. My hair is not presentable. That's something else that's on my to-do list for today. Sort my hair out. This is such a wonky mess. Oh, it is. And my other concern is that if I've got this at an outward angle, I have to make sure I'm always facing outward, right? have to do this from here. So if I rotate it and do it from the inside edge, I'm going to scuff it. He says as he proceeds to scuff it anyway. I'm starting to think I might end up having to Dremel this anyway to get the right angle. But that's whatever, I've done that before. Dremeling angles is considerably easier. This blade is already pretty blunt. Punch my cable in a second. Right. So just have to do that back edge. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a Dremel to this to fix the angle. So that's fine. I'm expecting to have to cut down this back edge anyway, so not super phased by that. Did it kind of? I kind of did it, okay. It kind of did, but I definitely need to try and get the hang of that a little bit more. But it gives me an idea. So, yeah, I will definitely be taking a Dremel to that after the fact. But that's no biggie. Right. My life slightly easier here. That. Right. This blade is hella blunt, so let me go fix that real quick. Or at least attempt to. Four. Alright. Then same again, I suppose. I attempt to make this work. Once again, I apologize for my head being in the way. But I gotta try and trace this line. I does not want to cut. I think I'm just gonna have to snap off that first one. Where are my pliers? Well, my a set of pliers. Let me put this in here. snap it off from there. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yeah. Yeah, let me snap off the first one and use the next one in, to be honest. Right. I'm making a mess of this, but oh well. It is what it is. And I will just have to fix it in post. And in fairness, by the time I've pulled something fiberglass from it, I'm be sanding stuff anyway, so, you know, not super pressed about it, really. It's just so that I have some idea. Okay, well, this is already going better than last time. Still not very good, but it's better than last time. Almost like you need to practice with things before you can know how they work. One of these days. One of these days, I will take my own advice on something. Just couldn't tell you when that'll be. Right. So it's a bit of a mess, but I promise you this is at a slight angle. So I'm going to go through and make that into more of a thing. Then I'm also going to put the foam scraps somewhere else for a minute. Right. So this will then be the left, yes, biro. So no, that's going to be the left, and no, that's going to be the right. To confuse myself just a little bit more, because I guess I thought I needed that. Which is nice. Right. Do I need to Dremel it, or can I just kind of, sort of... Maybe. Maybe I can kind of... Kind of being the operative term there. Dremel's going to be a lot easier. Right. Let me get rid of some of the scrappy bits. Yeah. So it's kind of cut things at an angle in places. I blame me. I don't blame the thing, I blame me. I think I just suck. That's fine. I will just take a Dremel to it. Screw it. I don't like using Dremels indoors, but I don't have a choice, and honestly just is what it is at this stage. Main thing is it's not going to be crazy loud for this time in the morning. That's the only reason I refrain in general. So, you know. Out of interest, what kind of angle am I looking to do? Because these, I want these to be straight, I think. Or do I also need them to be at an angle? I think that's the whole... Maybe I just cut them straight and then shape them as I need to. Maybe that's going to be easier for me. Because that's like that. That's like... No. It would be that. That's a lot longer than... Oh no, because by the time I've... Okay, no, I understand. I get it now. And that doesn't make sense, though, for how I've cut that. If it's straight and it's flat, then that's going to be... Is that going to matter? Does that not look kind of okay? Yeah, but then if it's going to be at an angle, because it's not going to be straight. So this also needs to be cut at an angle. But... What? Maybe I Dremel this edge after I put these on, and I get everything smooth that way. So I don't Dremel these yet, but I do mess with these. But then if that's going to be the top, it's going to be like that. Okay, I'm starting to understand what I was talking about. Because if that's going to be there, then I just have to do... Presumably, if I cut things at the same angle as it is here, I'll have one for one side and one for the other anyway. Okay, right. I think I understand what's happening. Just bear with me. Because again, I can't picture things in 3D, so I'm having a bit of a tough time with that. Well, that's handy. And I put... kind of inclined to draw as much of the line on here as possible, rather than little dashes, because I need to be able to follow something. Drawing around something like this sucks. I understand why I was doing dashes before. Just more accurate. and then trying to cut this at an angle again. Should be something like that. And have to start at the wider end. Come on, be nice. Knew you can do that. Let's see if I can cut it with this. I'm inclined to say because it's a small piece, it's gonna suck. Okay, but it is kind of doing what I need it to. But I'm not going to be able to flip it and take it from the wide end like I usually would on the other side, because then we'll cut at a different angle. I have to do it from this way. Unless, do I need to? If that's that bit, that's where the side joins. So actually, it ending up straight along one bit, is that going to matter? Because that's going to join on, right? If that's that, it'll be whatever that is reversed. If that's the right, then this will be on the left. Which will be this one. Yes, because that comes up like that. No, because that. Okay, so it'll be on the other one. It'll be this one. It'll be this one. It'll be from up here. So actually, yeah, that does work, which is pretty cool. All right. I'm not going to have to get any further than that. That's pretty good. And then trying to do this at an angle is going to be the worst thing on the planet. Just check I'm doing this right, because that should be from here. That should join onto there, which it will. But do I even need to mess with the rest of it? Maybe. So that just comes up for that initial chest piece though. So I kind of need to have something that follows all the way around. Maybe I take that just as far as I need to. That's okay. I think I have a rough understanding of what this is. Because that'll be for this one, like that, like that. Long. But this is the one that does my head in. The angles. Right. So that goes with that. I can get this on here. Then I'll just have to figure out which one it's for after the fact. Okay. That's then that one. It's much easier to do on a piece that is bigger than it needs to be. Shocker. Not that I'm doing a particularly good job of keeping everything along the line. This can be a straight line, I don't care. Right. And in theory, as I did it on that side, which I did with that one, this should be for this one as well. So, should be a case of this lines with that. Okay. I understand where I was going with this. But it looks like that might be on the other one for some reason. That looks more to be for that one. Definitely is. Does that mean I've got that one confused as well? Shouldn't be. That one's definitely for that one. Because I drew that on that. Makes less than no sense. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just based on angles. As long as I know which I've done, then it's fine. So, done both of those on that side, so I need to do both of them on this side. Right. So I should be able to get... Can I get one of these on here? Or I can at least attempt to. Having learned nothing from what I just said. I'm sure this is fine. So I want to do that upper edge first, because that's the one that's going to matter. So I will attempt to do that. Yes, because it's facing outward, which is what it needs to be doing. And I'll attempt to do this one as well. Yeah, I saw that one coming. That's fine. Whatevs. Needed to be smaller than that anyway. So, this one will be for this one, right? No, because, yes, no. No, because this is the upper bit, so it'll be for this one. Got it. Right. I am going to start marking these, though, so that's definitely for this one. Don't want to do that yet. And then I think this one is also for this one. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes, this one is also for this one. Be that one. And then joining these two is going to be a bit of a bitch. Actually, it might not be the worst. Might not be the worst. I think I just have to off a bit from under here. And then that. That. By the time those marry up, there's a little gap. I'm not super concerned, to be honest. Want to get this on like that. Which is where I'm thinking. I'm trying to take more of this down or more of that. The question. Let me see if I can take a bit more of this out. I'd rather not make a load of dust with a Dremel if I can help it. But also, it ends up being considerably quicker, then I will just do it. Does need to be more off from under here. Trying to get those bits to meet. Without being obstructed. And nearly. I think it's going to be easier to see what I'm doing with the Dremel rather than winging it like I am currently. I've got actual dust masks this time, which is nice. I managed to find some out in the wild, finally. I know that's fun. Definitely. Before I draw on anything, I'm making sure that they are the things that I think they are. Just gonna get confused. Because these are the bits that it really matters for, and then the rest of the thicknesses I can wing. Be able to, you know, think that actually not going to be the worst. Don't mind that. So I stick a little bit of contact glue on those edges. Now there was a strat for this. I don't remember. Saw a strategy somewhere. I think it was literally like that's the slip of paper in the way, so that it doesn't stick where it isn't supposed to. I think that's what it was. Now, question is, where is the contact? There it is. Okay. Right. So the thing with contact glue is that it is categorically amazing and the best thing for foam. The issue is that when it sticks, it sticks. So it really can't be ballsing it up. only need a really thin layer. You whack a bit on and then you spread it along. And you're going to want to do it on both the surfaces that you're looking to glue. That's one. Then this one is also going to need it. Now, I originally had a tin of this, but I've converted to tubes because they're considerably easier to store and not have dry out. Also, much easier to use. Now, ordinarily, I would be using this in a well-ventilated area. However, needs must. Because I'm only using a tiny bit, I'm genuinely not worried. But generally speaking, it's one of those, just make sure you're doing it next to an open window or something. Right? As I say, once this is on, it's on. So, you know, don't screw it up. Gotta look at my original and see. When I tell you that when it sticks, I ain't lying. Like, this stuff is immediate, and it is amazing. But if you balls it up, then you've really ballsed it up. So the angle at which you attack something kinda sorta matters quite a bit. Uh, Beautiful. Look at how nice that looks. Isn't it great? I love contact cement. Good grief. Right. And I'm also gonna need this. Have I got that like that? It should be that. Okay. So have I got the wrong one? Or am I just... Should be that one, right? Definitely. Okay. I suck. At least I realized I suck. So, this I need to cut at an angle with... At the minute that's quite nice, but now I've got to think carefully. Pretty sure it's going to be from here, right? Like that. Maybe I just make this up. I don't enjoy it, but I think that's going to be the easiest way of doing this. Yeah, okay, that was way easier. Cool. Good for me. Yeah, and that can be on that. Cool. That will all of these. Or am I going to have to mess? I think I'm going to have to mess. But then that's facing outward. And that's why I'm like, have I got these the right way round? That first piece is definitely correct. That's why I'm like, but then it's the wrong way anyway. So now I'm extra confused. Like, not the right way round, whereas this one is. Also right along those bits. So I'm pretty sure this is the way it's meant to be. I just take a chunk off of there. That's fine. And it's going to have to be up there, so I need to take off a bunch of this. And these bits are going to be trickier anyway. Maybe I'll cheese this slightly. Not one of those. Better. And trying to get that on there is not working. That'll be fine. And using all of this is gonna suck. Yeah, because I'm still convinced that this is the wrong way round. I think it's meant to be. Obviously, it's not going to work because they're cut differently, but it's meant to be like that. And on from there. Pretty sure. Does it work on this one? This one, it'd be from here. And that edge. Right, those bits are confusing me too much for now. I'm going to do the other one. There's too much grey area with these, so I'm going to do the other frontmost bit. Wherever I have put it. Why? Why do I put things in places and then forget immediately where they are? Okay. This is a lot of what takes me such a long time. Brain just deciding wildly unhelpful. Where could I have put that other piece? I genuinely don't know. Right. All of these are scraps, so it's definitely none of those. These are all scrappy bits. It's definitely none of those. This is just a template. This is just a mock-up. This is a mock-up. Where did I put it? Why? Why am I like this? God. No, I didn't bin it. There's nothing in the bin. It's not on a shelf. Nope. I've not been anywhere else. No, it wouldn't be any of these. I've not done anything over there. Has it just fallen on the floor at some point? Nothing there. Oh god, my legs. Oh, jeez. My first leg day in a long time a couple of days ago, and the 2-day mark is always the one that you really, really feel it. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I don't know where that other piece has even gone. So, I guess I'll just cut another one. I have no idea how that even happens. But okay. I suppose that's fine. Whatever, right? Now I need to think really carefully about which way round I'm cutting this. This is bizarre. Seriously, where would I have put it? Where else have I even been? I've not been anywhere else over there. These are all scraps. I've not used any of those. Nothing is on the floor. I don't understand where the other piece actually went. I'm genuinely lost. I don't need this. This is a template I have used. This is one that I'm gonna need. This is one that I didn't reverse last time, unless I never cut one of these the other way around. It's entirely possible I just never cut one. I think that might just be the case, is that I just didn't actually ever cut one, and I'm gaslighting myself. I think I might actually be gaslighting myself. I don't think I ever made another one. I'm trying to learn from my previous mistakes and cut this one further away from the edges. Is this going to be correct? Yes. It should be correct. God. Okay. I'm just gonna cut it and hope that it's vaguely correct. Let's blade is too blunt for this. Do it anyway. God, that is such a mess. I'm just going to snap the blade off and get a new one going and recut that, because that is actually atrocious. So bad. Right. Hopefully this will check out. Right. That's that one. This one will be this. Tidy up this, because that is actually hideous. Try and fix this edge. I managed to get the other one to work. I want to get this one to work, damn it. Right. That's going to want to go on there. That seems like it will fit for the most part. So let me take a bit off from under here, and then it should definitely together. And once I've got both the foam bits done, it'll just be a case of ducking out until I can plaster everything. But that's no biggie. I was mostly stressing out about trying to figure these because I knew they were going to suck because of the angles. Right. So I should now be able to contact glue those bits on. And the other bits, I'm so confused. I'm gonna have to muck about with those and try and work out why I'm getting myself so confused. Do one piece at a time. This one first. That's one. To make sure I'm doing it on the right bit. I'm gonna get confused again. Is this uppermost edge? Also, important thing to note. It seems obvious, but clean the nozzle when you're done. Just just give it a little wipe down, because if you get any contact glue on the inside of the lid as well, then shockingly, it tends to stick together. So, you know, again, it seems obvious, but just in case. I need to see whether I've got enough along there. I think I do. Pretty sure. I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Start from middle, or what will be the middle of the chest. And you want to try and keep it separated as you're working around. Again, because if it sticks, it sticks. So, yeah, just kind of knitting it together as you go around. There. That then deals with those. They look pretty decent. Not mad at that. Now, I need to try and work out what is happening with these and why I am getting so confused. Because that's how it's supposed to be, but that's definitely scuffed. As is that one. So that's supposed to be on here then, is it? Yes, so, but also it's a mess, so I want to recut it anyway. So I don't like these, I'm going to bin them. I'm going to try and recut some. Because I kind of want to have with this anyway. Because this is fine, but I want it to lope off sooner. I don't want it to go all the way up. That's going to be its own challenge. These different lengths. Maybe slightly, but don't think it matters a whole bunch. I think what I want to do is it's going to be what edge is the bit that matters. So this edge. That edge matters. That edge also matters. That matters. That matters. Right. So I'm wondering. I don't think I need as much as I've been allocated. There's a fly. Go away. Shoo. I think the bits that I actually need only go as far as there-ish. So I think actually it's going to be more like that. If I continue that down. I'm going to choose to improv this slightly. I think that's going to work out better. Okay. So, have a plan. Doesn't seem like it, but I do. I think cutting this edge I can do with scissors. I think that'll actually be okay. So, this is an edge that matters. So I will do this edge. Close enough. And then I'm just going to angle that like that. So that's probably fine. That goes on that one. Fine. I then rinse, repeat. Flipped. And I will just do this again. And again, as long as it's facing out, then I'm cutting at the right angle. So in theory, that one's then for that one. Yeah, okay. Right, that worked. I don't understand how I managed to get so confused all the time, but there you go. Right. This piece will then be for here. I can glue that. Yeah, I'll do that edge first, and then I'll want to mess with this bit. Cool. Yes, right. I'm going to do that edge first. And this one's going to be the same sitch, right? Anything I need to faff with though? Okay. Leave that one for a second because I might want to cut some stuff on there. This stuff dries down very quickly. So, take it from here. Nice. And as far as getting up in here, that should be fine. Only thing is, nah. I just roll with it. I'm just thinking, as far as messing with the straps, I can mess with that after the fact. I'll glue it first. The words I will rarely say. Right. Again, trying to keep this separated is going to be tricky. But I will do my best. Not entirely sure how high up this will come, so I might have to do it a bit at a time. So it's slightly higher than what I'd guessed, but only just. Right. Then gives me one. I want to have a quick look at the other one, because there are a couple of bits that I'm not sure I'm entirely stoked with. But at this stage, it's more of a case of, is this going to be a problem for me later on? Because if the answer is objectively probably not, then whatever, to be honest. This ridge, I'm kind of dubious over. It's not a problem, then great. Definitely a problem. Cool. Well, I'm going to cut another one then. I'm dealing with absolutely none of that. Not at this point. The question is, which way round? I'm cutting it to be that way, but then it'll be the reverse. If I draw it out like that and cut it, yeah, so it's the reverse. Okay, it'll be this way round. Got it. Got it. Might as well just use this whole section, to be honest. I don't like it because it is definitely wasting stuff, but as far as trying to cut things accurately, I need the excess around it so that it doesn't walk. My finger, oh no. Let's do this. Oh. Angle that. Right. So in theory, oh yeah, that's way better. Okay, cool. Why did I think that was going to be okay? So I'm going to want to shave that down anyway. That'll be a Dremel thing though. I'll deal with that with the Dremel later. Right. Take it to roughly there-ish. I now kind of got two sort of things-ish. Definitely want to take this in a little bit more. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Right. So I don't have the outer edges on those glued in. It's a plus. That was extremely stressful. Right. These I'm now done with. So I can put them to one side. Now, the middle needs a strip. That's fine. I can just cut a strip for that. That is whatever. So I'm not really thinking of doing that at an angle. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, it would be nice if it was, though. Where are my scraps at? I've got any that would be long enough. So yes, yes. I wonder if I can just try and take that angle. Not going to be long enough. Mm. I wonder. Yeah, that's not going to work. Fairness, it's not coming from a bad starting fish. Try that. It's not going to be long enough. When will I learn and just do things sensibly? I don't know that I will, to be honest. Mm. Not quite. Right. We stop dicking about and actually use some decently sized pieces and save myself a shit ton of time. This is the problem, is I'm too hell bent on not wasting shit. And then I waste a butt ton of time instead. And that doesn't help. It's not the good thing that I think that it is. Never is. So let's say I just took something, I want it to be roughly for the sake of safety. And that's why I was smart. I just did it from here. See what that gives me. Maybe not the worst thing ever. And if you confuse matters, I feel like it is. So I'll do it this way instead. Yeah, that's better. Where to roughly, that's where that goes. Oh. You actually only need about half of that. But then if I were to half that, make sure I'm doing it at the right angle. I want it to be this side. Kinda don't want to mess it up though. I wonder. If that does me any favours. Potentially kind of sort of ish. Assuming I can even keep the ruler straight, which I can't. Oh, I hate me. Right. Got it. Scissors it is. That's fine. Which Which way am I doing it? If that's on there like that, that's a taper from there. And that's that. About that, which means it's about that. Okay. I said how have I managed to get this confused? Have I managed to fuck it up? I don't understand. Oh no, it's fine. For fuck's sake. So stressful. Still feel like it's going to be too thick. Take more from up here. That's better. It just needed a little piece, you know? Right. I know that's for that side. Do I flip it? No, already getting confused. Right. Okay. Fine. Everything is fine. This piece goes on this one. That. That is fine. This piece will go against here. I start by angling that. That is already incorrect. That. Yes. Like that, like that. It's fine. I'm looking for roughly ish. That's like that. I want to cut it so that it's sort of ish. So why am I still just glue it and then wing it after the fact, to be honest. You go with you go with you. Glue you first. Then I will deal with you after the fact. I think it helps that I'm distracted by really needing to pee. Deal with this first. I don't trust myself to do that. I've made a mess of this one, but don't worry about it. Not actually gonna matter. One fly will not leave me alone. Leave that for a second. That's better. Much better. Yeah, I can just faff with it retroactively. That's not such a big deal, to be honest. I'll do the same on this one, and then I'll just cut it after the fact. Would help if this was at the right angle. God, why am I so bad at picturing things? So frustrating. And good, but it's better. So much biro on my hands. Totally gonna forget about it as well. I have to trim this one quite a bit, but I will. Unbothered, frankly. I'm gonna start with this side this time though. Why are you putting down so much glue? I didn't ask for this. Not what I wanted. Damn you, gravity. That's the only trouble with tubes, is even if you squeeze them a little bit, they kind of just keep going. Really annoying. I'm only trying to do a little bit. It's becoming a big old mess. Oh, you stay separate for a bit. Because I think you're meant to leave this for like a minute before you press stuff together. You don't need to. Like, it really takes seconds. Try to leave it for as long as my impatience will allow. You can kind of tell when it's ready to use. I don't think it would be picked up on cam particularly well, but it kind of goes matte. No, camera says no. Okay. It goes from being shiny where it's wet to being matte where it's not. I'm going to try and get a fairly straight line here. That's better. I don't want it to be a big thing. I just want it to be something. Better, closer, warmer. happier with that. It's going to need to be something here. Get some of this out of the way. How long have I been going? Couple hours, okay. Well, that checks out. Can't really use that because different angles. Do kind of want to have those in there. Am I just making my life more difficult? Yes, but I feel like it's kind of probably for good reason around the neck. So I think this whole thing is going to take me longer than I'd expected it to. But then expecting things to take me longer than I expect, does that kind of cancel out and mean that actually no, I did expect this to happen? I'm not quite sure how to rationalize that one with myself, to be honest. I feel like that kind of is a little paradoxical. I just think about that one anyway. So let me BRB because I really have to pee, and then I'll come back to try and think about this. back. I went and grabbed something to eat as well, because my brain is not here right now. So, I do think having something on these is going to be a decent idea. But do I mess with angles? I don't think I need to along the other edge. Let me say, I did this in just a straight line. I know I saw my box cutter. Yeah. Let's say I had that. And this. And I'd make a straight edge. This. Fly will not leave me alone. I don't understand it. It's about that. Better than not. That's then a straight edge. So I'm thinking, if I then flip it, when, let's see, I'm going to be about half of that. It's a guess. Yes, because it's going to have to be a guess. So I'm not going to work the way I want it to. Hey, it could have been worse. Could have been worse. So I now have one that's a straight, which is this side, one that's not so much, which is this side. I'd say that's fair. Say as far as thickness is decent. How am I gonna get that to then do the same thing? Maybe I try and cut another one on here. God, my legs. Okay, in fairness, if this is already cut at an angle, I just have to make sure I'm doing the opposite. So that's facing that way. So if I flip it, then a straight edge is a straight edge. So that's not going to matter. I'm going from... Oh, okay, so it's about 2 of the square things in total. That's roughly that edge, so it's about here. Okay. Do that. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'll feel a lot better if I can get the plaster done for this today. I'm sweating. It's like, sort of end of August-ish. And, in my mind, that means I have, like, a month to finish everything. Which I'm not super stoked about, to be honest. Right. We have those which are opposite, which is good. I only really want to do that sort of in the neck bit. So I reckon that's the straight, that's the thing. So yeah, they're like that. So if I was going to do that, I think it would be like this. Maybe it would be if it were on this one. Ah, okay. Would be for that. It's fine. So, but you with you. And get that in, which means that needs to be facing backwards. Like that. That goes on there. Which it does. Except this needs to come off a bit more. Yes, okay. So that'll go on there like that. Which is fine. Goes up to... Actually, technically... Don't know if that ends up pulling that around too much. Might. The... Don't want that to pull too much, that's the thing. That will like that. I did it like that. It's better, yeah. Goes into about there. Means I'm going to want it to be that. facing this way. Yeah. Then I just have to replicate that on the other one. That, that. So if I can get this cut on this one, is going to need it to face outward, which then becomes a pain in the ass. Right? Because I'm gonna have to base it off of this line. Yeah, I have to base it off of this line. So actually, that's all bollocks. Ah! God, I hate everything. This sort of thing is not my area. So that then is meant to be straight line. The part where I've done them both facing the same way and I'm an idiot. Bear with me, because there's every chance. That one goes with that one, that's fine. This one. This one works with this, I think. Oh, it's meant to go this way. Why does that... Ah! Fuck's sake. So the 3D thing is the absolute bane of my existence. It's been a massive problem for as long as I've lived. And it will never stop being a fucking problem. I'm just gonna have to make it up. Not gonna be able to do it any other way. Genuinely not. Let's say I take these bits off because they suck and I don't need them. This is going to be like that. If that's like that, that means that this one needs to be facing up this way. Up. Like that. About there. one angled that way means this one be angled this way. That, that, and that. That deals with those. Why do I choose to make my life difficult every single time? Why is there so much glue just deciding to exist? You never asked. Then I have... Was I storing this upright? Because I feel like I was storing it upright, because it's gonna cause me all sorts of grief. Just... and cock this up. Which goes with which? That goes with that one. That goes with that one. Leave that to dry down for a sec. I'll stick the other bits on as I'm waiting. Why is it still dark outside at the minute? Well, it was usually a daylight-esque by around 5. But no, not that. Interestingly. Sod it. Knit these together. It looks better for it. Figure out what I do with this. I think it's going to be a pointy. Ends up there somewhere. I think that's how I deal with that. Again, why is there so much glue? I didn't even squeeze it. God, that's annoying. Cease with your nonsense, please. Literally never asked. Lid. One's looking pretty decent. I just want a tiny something in that corner. Beyond that, I'm pretty okay with it, to be honest. But much. That one, that's that one. Why are you making it so difficult to cut? Come on. Right. So I have those two. That. And I need something in up there. This cock up from earlier. I can probably use. That wants me to go in and under. That. That. I'm gonna say sort of. Come on, be a dick. Already sick of this shit. So bad as well. I've not been working on this for that long this morning. The fact that I'm already through with it. Slightly ridiculous. That's perfect. That's much nicer. Right, good. That's something. You. You're a straight line, which is no good to me. could probably be made to work. I don't think you're wide enough. You, on the other hand, will be fine. So, if that's there like that. One's facing that way, so I want to do this one facing this way. Right. That's fine. That's the max. That's that. Then ish. Am I constantly getting confused? Actually impressive. I keep almost singing what I'm listening to and then having to stop myself. That's good enough for what it needs to be, really. And it's definitely wider. Need to fix that real quick. It's better, but now it's thinner than that one. End my suffering. Good God. That then still goes on there like that. Fine. Let's take off a tiny bit. Whatever. Same with that one. I think it'll be easier to do that in post. Right. Okay. One. Want to get the foam stuff dealt with fully, or I wander off and deal with anything else this morning. and get up in here, which is going to suck. But in fairness, I shouldn't actually need much. Of course, any would be good. Really? We're going to make now the time that I have to actually squeeze? Yeah, I didn't think so. Thought you were probably lying. Just to be a nuisance. I'm going to hold you apart for a while. You stood upright. Or I can not. I'm inclined to say it doesn't matter if it doesn't quite marry up in places. I will be sanding stuff eventually anyway. If I would just leave it. I don't have capacity. Not currently. Got too much to think about this morning. Too much to try and get done today. To weigh up to what extent things actually matter. Okay. So once I've done these bits, I'm pretty okay with the whole thing, really. Pretty much. And any edges I need to build, I'll do out of polyfiller later. I have 2 chess pieces. And it's only taken me 3 hours. Epic and cool. Well, it's probably more like 2:45. I ducked out to go eat for a bit. So, in theory, should be able to use these later to plaster over. that seems hopefully feasible. Cool. Well, I'm gonna tidy up the scraps. And I'm gonna call it there for now because I'm gonna have to wait for daylight before I can deal with any of the plaster anyway. So, you know. I think I will sort some other stuff out. I'll come back to deal with this when I have daylight. Right. Cool. Well, I have these, and I will be back later to deal with plaster and stuff. So, yeah. Bear with me till then. But it will be happening today because it literally has to. So, yeah, I will be back later. So, in a bit.